This is getting more and more chaotic, I'm sorry. We're not even close to done. Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith, and today I am bringing you my first book haul of the year. My last book haul I did in December with my What Books I Got for Christmas video. I think I'm going to try and do a book haul every 3 months. Basically, I just want to tell you all the books that have entered my life since then. I find book hauls very interesting to watch. I like seeing which books people buy, which books have entered people's lives, and kind of getting a feel for what might be coming up on their channel, so that's why I'm doing this. It's not a look at all the books I have. I would say the majority of this is going to be Netgalley reads. Yeah, I think I just wanted to kind of shop my own shelves a little bit and get a bit excited for stuff that's been sat on my TBR shelf, which is currently behind a little cardboard box thing, so I don't get to look at it every day. So this is also just a chance to go, oh yes, I remember that I have this and that I'm excited to read it. So I'm basically going to go in order of type of book, which is how I like to distinguish various things on my shelf on my online spreadsheets and stuff. So I'm going to start with the books I bought myself since January, and I've been pretty well behaved actually. Only 4 of these books were bought by me. Oh, 5 maybe. There's 1 Kindle book. Okay, maybe I'm lying. I can't remember. Anyway, 4 physical books bought by me, that will do. Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is on my April TBR, and it is a lyrical and dreamy reimagining of Dracula's Brides. So I'm really excited for this. I just think it's going to be really cool. I've not had anyone else read this. I love the cover. I think it's going to be spooky and good, and I'm excited. I'm going to put that back with the rest of my April TBR because I do want to get to that next week. I also got a copy of The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. This was the Space Sirens Book Club pick for March. I think that live show may have already happened by the time you're watching this video, but I will link that if it has. I don't know if I'm going to be at that one, but it will probably be very good to watch anyway. This is a YA fantasy about a girl who has to leave her home because she's discovered to be kind of like a part demon kind of thing, and then it's a lot of training montage to fight these Death Street creatures. It's a good fun YA time, not my favourite thing in the universe, but a good time nonetheless. Let's start making a stack of books that I will need to put away after this video. One that I'm very excited to read eventually is House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This I've heard such good things about, that it's very comforting, and honestly, every so often I think, oh, I really just want to pick that up, and I never have, and I think I'm slightly worried just about whether I'm going to like it or not. So that's where I'm at with that one, but I think this is going to be lovely. I'm pretty sure this is about, yes, Linus Baker, a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. This is an enchanting love story masterfully told about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realising that family is yours. So I'm 100% sure I'm going to love this. When will I read it? I don't know. I'm excited. And the last book has already got a review up on this channel. I just was one of my pre-orders for the year, is The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. I absolutely love this. I have a review up for it. I have a review up for the whole series. Ugh, just wonderful. Yes, 15 out of 10. Love it. I think I only have 2 physical arcs. I tend to be reasonably good at reading them. I'm pretty sure there's only 2. I feel like I'm missing one, but I don't know where it is, if I am. I have 2. I have both from Orbit. I have For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, which I think is like Red Riding Hood-esque. The first daughter is for the throne, the second daughter is for the wolf. This is coming out in June. And also in June, but I think the week before, yes, is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I know this is going to be sapphic and good and fantastic. I loved her previous book. I haven't finished that series, but I did like the first one, and I'm very excited to get to this. I'm saving both of these for May, and I'm excited about it. I'm just going to make messy stacks, so you'll have to deal with it. That Kindle book I was talking about, though, was Half a Soul, and this was recommended to me by Asha. I can't remember what it's about, but I think it's going to be great, and I will see if she has a review for it, and I will link that if it exists. But this is just on my Kindle for whenever I need a book in the middle of the night. That's where that's for. Let's do some gifts. It was my birthday in February, very early in February, and it was very funny. I got through my actual day of my birthday, and I didn't get many books for my birthday because most of my family bought me sewing supplies, which was very lovely and definitely what I needed and wanted and lovely, and I have been using all of them. So handy when you actually have the tools for the task you need to do. I was like, oh great, I haven't added to my TBR too much this birthday. Fantastic. And then the lovely people that I know from the Space Sirens Book Club bought me a whole bunch of books because they are so kind and so lovely, as well as some other friends bought me some things. So if I forget who gave me one of these or I say the wrong name, I'm very sorry. I did try and write it all down at the time. But yeah, I have a big stack next to me of books that I got from people. First up, from the lovely Stephanie at Miss Richards Reads, I got a copy of The Song of Achilles. I've been meaning to read this for quite some time. I have read Circe by Madeline Miller, which is the same author, and I've heard such great things. I am both nervous and excited to read this. I've even kept the little note. Look. Happy birthday from Stephanie. Nice. So yeah, I'm a Greek mythology nerd. I'm an ancient history nerd. I'm excited to read this. It'll probably make me cry. I expect, you know, some things just do. This is the trouble with this. I'm getting excited and now I want to abandon my TBR and read all of these things. This copy of The Seep was from a family member. I did get some books from family. This is a kind of horror-esque book. I just know that this is a bit weird. Like somebody's wife wanting to become a baby. And yeah, I don't 100% know how I'm going to feel about this one, but I think it's going to be interesting. From Asher, I think. That's what I've written down. I'm pretty sure it was. This is a copy of The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I have obviously already read this, but I'm so excited to reread the series, and I actually only own the second one and in ARC form, so I would quite like to buy paperbacks of all three of them. I know a lot of people really haven't got on with the third book in this series. I thought it was pretty good. I wasn't wild about it, but at that point I was kind of ready to be done with the series. You know, as sometimes can happen with trilogies. I think that this is probably my favourite of all of the books in that series, so I'm excited to get to reread this, and I'm keeping it on my TBR shelf as a prompt to reread it. This book is actually a hangover from Christmas. I don't think it arrived till after my birthday, in fact, but this is a copy of Redemption in Indigo by Karen Lord. This was recommended to me by Angela, who loves this book and loves Karen Lord, so I know it's going to be good because all of Angela's recommendations have been excellent so far. It's a clever contemporary fairy tale from a dynamic new voice, a world of spider tricksters and indigo immortals, inspired in part by a Senegalese folktale, fresh, surprising and utterly original. Hyped and excited. But yeah, this was a Christmas present that came very, very late in the year. I assume they had to do a reprint or something, or there was some kind of supplied difficulty. One blames Brexit. I'm really looking forward to reading that. This is going to be a nice short one. I just don't know when I'm going to pick it up. A copy of Havenfall by Sarah Holland was from Nikki over at Books and Lemon Squash. Excellent human being. All of these people are excellent human beings. What am I saying? But yes, I read Everless and I liked it a lot. And then I read Evermore, which is the sequel, and I got annoyed by it and didn't enjoy it at all. So I'm a little bit trepidatious about picking up Havenfall, but I think it's going to be good. Yeah, a gateway to three ancient realms, a brutal murder shattering the peace. Step forward to protect the place and the people she cares for the most. Her safe haven will never be the same again. Could be interesting. I've not really looked into this in that much detail, but I think it will be a fun one to pick up. Maybe in my book a day in June, because it's not that long. Potentially. Thank you so much, Kerry, for sending me a copy of Foundryside. I appreciate this is coming in really, really late. I have thanked all these people separately. You're not just seeing it on YouTube. I think this was an Angela recommendation, but this is the first book in a series by Robert Jackson Bennett. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Funny, exciting, pacey, and gory. I mean, could be good. A murderous conspiracy? Secret artifacts? It could be good. It could be... I don't know. I don't really know much about this. I've not looked into it very much. Bit of a theme with these. This is kind of my red-headed stepchild of the bunch, which is a horrible phrase, but does make a lot of sense. This is Ballet Shoes, and this is one of my favourite books from my childhood. So there's three sisters, they're all adopted, and one of them wants to be a ballet dancer, one of them wants to be an actress, and one of them wants to be a mechanic, but they all do ballet, and it's just... nostalgic and lovely and wonderful, and I really wanted a copy of it because the copy I have, which lives at my parents' house, was literally falling, like disintegrating in my hands. So this is one to go on my not quite fitting the aesthetic of these bookshelves shelf. But yeah, this is just lovely nostalgic, and I'm excited to get to it again, maybe in June as a nice palette cleanser. I can't just keep pushing all of my TBR to June. Maybe I can, though. A well-timed gift from Justine for my birthday was A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the third book in the Curse So Dark and Lonely series, which is a series that I am excited to finish, but I do want to reread the first two because I read... Oh, what's the second one called? Heart So Fierce and Broken fairly quickly, and I'd quite like to read it again because I didn't love it, and I'm wondering if I need to experience the whole arc of the trilogy. This is exciting because it's finishing a trilogy and I really like doing that. It's also coming up on this part of my overbooked kind of schedule, so that's handy. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's really going to be fun to see these characters finish. Sorry, there's a spider on my wall. It's chilling, it's fine. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this. This will need to come at a time where I can read all three books, but that will come in the future. And it does still have the fun holographic spine, which is always cool. Ooh, new stack time. This is getting more and more chaotic, I'm sorry. We're not even close to done. Another one from that same family member, A Lonely World Where the People Are Blue. This is one that Asher recommended and I stuck on my wish list as kind of a... There we go, I'll read that at some point, and then it got bought for me because that's how wish lists work. Oh, it's a PI book, yes. I should really have looked at more into this before I read it, but I think it's like a sci-fi PI thing. It's self-published, which I don't read a lot of self-published stuff, so we shall see how this one goes, but I'm interested. I like an Asha recommendation. She recommends fantastic books. If you haven't already checked out her blog, you really should. And the last 3 physical books that I need to talk to you about were all from Justine for Easter, so I've talked about them in vlogs fairly recently. She got me a copy of Archive of the Forgotten, which is the sequel to Library of the Unwritten. Fantastic book. Already have a review up for it. Love it so much, yes. Adventuring people, yes. A copy of The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry by C.M. Wagner. This is Adventuring Gaze, and I'm very excited about it. Justine said she tried to pick 3 books that were very me, and I really think she managed to achieve that, because this is Adventuring Gaze, Archive of the Forgotten is Death and also Adventuring Gaze, and then we have this fantastic corseted lady on the cover of Karen Memory, which is a steampunk Jack the Ripper kind of story, which I'm very excited to get to very soon. I want to read all of these. I just want to smack my head into my shelf and have them enter my mind. I'm going to do a quick whiz through my Netgalley books that I received during this time. A lot of these I have already read and reviewed, so if you would like to check those out, they'll be on my blog, which is listed below. I don't think any of them have had a dedicated review recently, but, you know, check it out if you want to. But yeah, let's whiz through, because otherwise we'll be here for literally hours. I have Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho. I have Fugitive Telemetry by Martha Wells. Still need to read the novel, it'll get to it. The Broken God by Gareth Hanrahan, very excited for that. That's on my April TBR. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He, I'm so excited to read that, and I really want to support her because she's had such a terrible run with her publisher. Blah. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, which I think is going to be fun and silly. The Tyrant by Seth Dickinson, I'm slightly waiting for a physical copy of that because I want to reread the whole series in physical form. We'll see. I have Thorn by Intisar Kanani. This I have just read, I've just finished it. It was in my March wrap-up and it's fantastic. Way of the Argosy by Sebastian de Castel. This is the prequel to the Spellslinger series. It's okay. I've already read it. It was okay. All the Murmuring Bones by A.G. Slatter. Again, I read that in March. It was alright. It wasn't for me. Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. So good. Very, very bleak, very dark, but fantastically written. Just great. The Chosen and the Beautiful by Niveau. I am waiting to buddy read that with Justine in May, so stay tuned for that one. I might see if Justine wants to do... In fact, hi Justine, if you're watching this, do you want to do like a collaborative video on that? I think that could be fun. The Shadow in the Glass by J.J. Harwood, which if you haven't watched it already, it was my worst book of the month in my March wrap-up. I did not enjoy it. Victory's Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders. I'm very excited to read this in April. It's YA sci-fi. Witherwood by Hannah Mathewson, which feels like a long time ago now, but was a reasonably fun, quick, alternate London kind of book. A bit urban fantasy-y, you know. Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, very excited, sort of want to drop everything to read it, being very well behaved. The Tangleroot Palace by Marjorie Liu, which I admit 100% was a cover. I looked at the cover and went, I want to read that, but I have actually read the Monstrous comics, so I'm hoping I will enjoy it. The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid, which again was oh, this sounds like it could be very good. I like a retelling, they always tempt me. Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas, which is one that's been very much talked about on the internet, and I'm excited to see what I think of it. And that is everything, I think. So yeah, I'm not going to count that because I don't want to know how many books I added to my TBR in the last 3 months and how many I also read. I don't need to know. That really has done its job of exciting me about what's on my TBR, particularly my Netgalley shelf, just thinking through those in my head. I'm very excited for them. Are any of these on your TBR too? Do you want to do maybe a buddy read? I am working on that Discord. It will happen at some point, and then we can do buddy reads galore. It will be wonderful. Let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these, if there's any that you think I'm going to absolutely love, if there are any you're interested in hearing me absolutely trash. I'm excited about it. While you're down there commenting, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I put out new videos 3 or 4 times a week, depending on what month we're in. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. No, come back.